A quick note before we get into the drama-filled podcast clip. This is a clip from a podcast. If you are at all interested, go ahead and click the link in the description or check out my YouTube channel to watch the entire podcast episode. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Up to this point, I've really kind of been singing Donut's praises, and that's because I want to make sure I put out there that they've made some really good content in the past. I'm not trying to discount that by any means. I would say 40 or 50% of the car scene right now wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for how accessible and understandable Donut Media has made getting into cars. I would, however, like to touch on the recent changes that have been made as late as 2021. There have been some rumors going around that I've heard in passing from some people about how Comcast owns Donut Media, about how certain people are industry plants for the car community, and all kinds of other things. I don't know about any of that, but I'll tell you what I did find out. The closest thing I was able to find to this whole Comcast owns Donut idea was directly on the Wikipedia page. It says here in May of 2018, Donut Media received $800,000 in seed funding from a venture capital company called Techstars Ventures. But as far as what I've read online, that's not really that uncommon of a thing to do. When you're trying to make expensive content and really run a company more along the lines of Motor Trend than a YouTube channel, it makes sense that you'd be seeking funding from investors. And then probably what people are actually referencing, in November 2 years ago, Donut was entirely bought out by Recurrent Media, a digital media company that also owns The Drive and Car Bibles. And again, this isn't inherently a bad thing, but I would say with the direction that Donut Media has been taking their content, this doesn't really give a great look. If we go all the way back to the very beginning of Donut Media, in the days where they were regularly uploading things like High-Low, Science Garage, Up to Speed, you see a lot of this stuff is things that automotive enthusiasts are actually going to be interested in. Things that we might learn something from. Media that's going to introduce us to vehicles that we didn't really consider interesting or all that cool to begin with. And within the last year or so, we get things like this. Donut has recently pivoted to a secondary channel called Real Mechanics Stuff, where they milk viral TikToks and Instagram Reels and whatnot for media analyzed by Real Mechanics and Wish.com, Amazon, and TikTok Shop unboxing videos. I understand a lot of these things can cost some money, time, effort, and manpower to get into our feed, and I understand that the WRX season of High-Low specifically was extremely costly. But I really don't think if the goal of Donut Media was still to provide us with quality content, they would be making this stuff. As far as I understand, shows like Science Garage, Miracle Whips, Up to Speed, they're all dead now. And we're getting these piddly little content farming quality videos uploaded to their YouTube channel so regularly that I've completely unfollowed them on everything. I used to be Donut Media's biggest fan. I have an entire wardrobe of Donut Media attire that I now use exclusively for working on cars because I don't like the direction the channel is going in. I'm not going to decry them for trying to make money or wanting to make money, but they don't upload nearly as constant as they used to, and the things that they do upload just aren't that good anymore. And their analytics reflect this. To this day, the most viewed video they have on their YouTube channel is 6 years old. The one after that and the majority of the following videos are from High-Low. If you look here, we have a Nissan Z High-Low episode, another Nissan Z High-Low episode, an 8-year-old video of 2 old women in a Lamborghini. There are some more recent videos sprinkled in there, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. We have an episode of High-Low sandwiched between 2 crap videos. One where they're looking at shit that they bought on Amazon, and another one where they're telling us something that everybody knows, that the more recent Fast and Furious movies are bad, and that is by far the most tired shit I have ever heard. The most surface level content. The safest thing to say is that the Fast and Furious movies aren't good anymore. Everyone knows this, but they milked 33 minutes out of that one statement. A large majority of the runtime of this is playing clips from the movie. And it just gets worse from here. We have a High-Low episode, an Up to Speed episode, another Up to Speed episode. We have a Real Mechanic Stuff episode, which is again them just milking TikTok content. Real sniper wolf behavior over here. And I won't beat this dead horse for much longer. The Mr. Beastification of YouTube has affected every channel differently. But I would just kind of like to put my stance on this out there so I can encourage conversation on this within the community and from y'all to me, I really don't feel that Donut Media is the real media powerhouse it used to be when I was in high school. Maybe my taste has changed and I'm a bit more sensitive to this kind of content than I used to be. That is a real possibility, don't get me wrong. But as of right now, the direction they're taking things doesn't seem to be all that promising. I am a Civic driver and a Honda boy at heart. I would be lying if I told you that their EG Civic build wasn't something that I really enjoyed watching. But it, again, is different. It's not a Money Pit episode. They did not do this work in a garage. They spared no expense on this K-swap. And it really just doesn't feel the same as Donut Media used to as far as the type of quality content and consistency with that quality content. What's my point? Well, I'm not entirely sure. In my head, I want to blame the fact that they've commercialized and commodified automotive content. They now run the largest automotive podcast in the world. I would argue they're the biggest and most influential normie automotive content creation house, period. And I would be very surprised and probably wouldn't believe you if you told me that them selling their souls to Recurrent for more money and more funding had nothing to do with that. And that is the end of the section on Donut Media.